Okay, welcome to YouTube version of trivia this week. This week, all the questions were provided by my dad, who plays on Lincoln Garden. Here we go. Rules, as always, the same. First category, in the news. 5 questions about stuff that has happened in the past week. Question 1. A singing star suffered a dog napping last week. The star's dog walker was shot, and the bad guys stuffed the star's 2 dogs into a waiting van and, as you would in a van, vanished. A $500,000 reward has been offered for the return of the dogs. Who is this canine-loving troubadour? Question 2. This week, a merino sheep missing in the Australian outback for 3 years has been found. Merinos grow a tremendous amount of wool and in normal circumstances would be sheared at least once a year, and the Aussies have named the sheep Barak. How many kilos of wool did they get from this poor thing after its long absence? If you're within 1 kilo, you get 2 points, and within 5 kilos, you get 1 point. Question 3. At the recent Conservative Political Action Conference, 2 Trump supporters carried in a statue of their hero. What was the statue made of? Question 4. The former president of what European country was this week sentenced to jail on charges of corruption? Your last in the news question. Bunny Wailer died this week along with 2 companions. He is credited as being the founder of which musical form? Okay. Next category is called Ancient Territories. In this category, I will give you 5 territories from ancient history. You have to match them with the 6 modern locations provided. No modern location will be repeated and 1 will not be used. So here's your ancient locations. The 5 are Anatolia, Carthagina, Galicia, Phoenicia, and Thrace. And your modern territories, the European part of Turkey and northern Greece, western Ukraine and parts of Poland, the Asian part of Turkey, the coastal area of Croatia, eastern Tunisia, and Lebanon. And there is a bonus point. Obviously, one of the modern territories is not matched up with its ancient territory equivalent. If you name the ancient territory that is not matched, if you can name the ancient territory name of the modern territory that is not matched, you get a bonus point. So match up the ancient territories with its modern territory equivalent. Okay, have a look at that. I'm going to move on. Category 3 is 1960s song lyrics. Here's your first question. On what street in Liverpool did the Beatles sing about a pretty nurse who was selling poppies from a tray? Question 12. The Beatles also rhymingly told us that we wouldn't make it with anyone anyhow if you carried the picture of what 20th century dictator? Question 13. What Baba O'Reilly band sang of substituting my Coke for gin and you for my mum so that I could get my washing done or something? Question 14. The Canadians were not left out of these new ideas. In Toronto, a singer was expressing her displeasure with developers who cut down all the trees and put them in a tree museum and then charged all the people $1.50 just to see them. Who was she, for 1 point, and for another, what was the official title of this song? Question 15. Even the country music guys tried to reflect the changing times, particularly the U.S. infatuation with swinging England. Consider, for example, this one. England swings like a pendulum do, bobbies on bicycles, 2 by 2. Who sang that? getting it to number 8 on the Billboard chart. Good luck with that one. Your last category in round number 1 is rich old white guys with their name on stuff. This category is all about rich old white guys, and they're all Canadian too. Here's your first clue. This person has his name on a law school, the offices of the Law Society, a subway station in Toronto, and several streets in the GTA. He was the first Chief Justice of Upper Canada. What is his name? Question 17. This person started by selling radios. Since his assigned territory was Northern Ontario, he was not getting a lot of traction as there were no local stations, so he bought a frequency and built a radio station. He then bought the local newspaper, then another newspaper, and so on. His family still owns the Globe and Mail, and he has his name on a Toronto concert hall. Who is he? Question 18. Also has his name on a Toronto concert hall. However, unlike the person in question 17, he was born rich. To his credit, he spent his life in public service, first in the military, then as a diplomat, and later as our Governor General. 2 questions. What is his name? And what was unique about his becoming Governor General? Question 19. Michael de Groot, a Belgian immigrant who launched his first successful small business in Hagersville, Ontario, that then grew into an international conglomerate. He sold out in 1988 for the tidy sum of $500 million. His name is on a number of buildings in Hamilton and Burlington and so on. What was this first successful business of Michael de Groot? And your last rich old white guy question. Ron Joyce is an especially Canadian rich old white guy. Ron's name is on a slew of buildings throughout the western GTA. At one time, he, like de Groot before him, owned the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He was a founder of Tim Hortons, which is the driving force, and is the driving force of his success. What was his previous job before being the founder of Tim Hortons? Okay, that's the end of round number 1. Let's do some answers. In the news, the singing star whose dogs were kidnapped was Lady Gaga. The merino sheep, there was 35 kilograms of wool sheared from the animal. The Trump statue was made of gold. And the former president of France, was sentenced to jail. And Bunny Wailer was one of the founding members of reggae music. Territories. Okay, so here are your answers. The first one, Anatolia, was number 3. That is the Asian part of Turkey. Carthagena is location 5. It's in Tunisia. Cilicia is western Ukraine, location 2. Phoenicia is Lebanon, location 6. And Thrace is location 1, the European part of Turkey, which leaves the coastal region of Croatia. Location 4, that is known as Dalmatia. So if you figure out that coastal Croatia is Dalmatia, that's a bonus point. Song lyrics. The street in Liverpool is Penny Lane. So we wouldn't make it with anyone anyhow if you carried the picture of Chairman Mao. So that rhymes. Bob O'Reilly is a song by The Who, and they also had a song called The Substitute. The Canadian song is by Joni Mitchell, and the song is called Big Yellow Taxi. There's no other correct answer, despite what you might think. And this country music song, is by Roger Miller, who is a person that I totally know who that is. Rich Old White Guys, name on the law school and a subway station and all this other stuff, that is Osgood. Person who owns the Globe and Mail and has his name on a Toronto concert hall, that's Roy Thompson of Roy Thompson Hall. And this other one, another concert hall, that's Vincent Massey. And what was unique about his becoming Governor General, he was the first Canadian-born Governor General. Michael DeGroote first broke into industry in trucking. You get a half point if you say school buses, but the correct answer is trucking. And Ron Joyce was a police officer. Okay, moving on. This entire round is about movies in one way or another. So we're going to get started with the AFI top movies. In this category, there will be 5 clues that you have to match with the top 6 movies on the AFI list of best films of all time. None will be repeated. One will not be used. In alphabetical order, these films are Casablanca, Citizen Kane, Gone with the Wind, Raging Bull, Singing in the Rain, and The Godfather. So you might want to write those down. So here we go. The first clue. Which of these 6 movies is the lowest ranked, having slipped several places since the last iteration of the list? Question 22. Which of these movies lost money at the box office? Question 23. One of these movies featured a male co-star who had not worked in movies for 4 years and a female co-star with a bad reputation due to substance abuse. Which was it? Which of those 6? Question 24. Which of the movies did not win any of the main Oscars? Best Picture, Director, Screenplay, or any of the acting awards? And your last clue in this category. A 2016 movie, La La Land, contains multiple allusions to which of the movies? Okay, your next category is called What's My Stage Name? In this category, I'm going to give you the birth name, year of birth, place of birth, and sometimes a factoid about an actor. All you have to do is write down the stage name of each of the following 5 people, all of whom are alive, and the first 4 have all won Oscars, and the 5th has not. Okay, here we go. Here's your first stage name with no additional information. Diane Hall, 1949, Los Angeles. Number 27, we have Karen Elaine Johnson, born in 1955 in New York City. Got the first part of her stage name from a rude habit she had. Question 28. Kim Nicholas Coppola, born 1964 in Long Beach, California. No additional information provided. Question 29. Eric Marlon Bishop, born 1967 in Terrell, Texas, chose his stage name in tribute to the stage name of his comedic performance idol. And your last one, it's a doozy. We have Mark Sinclair, born 1967 in Alameda County, California. He has been an actor since his early teens, has a college degree in screenwriting, and has produced and directed indie films shown at Sundance and Cannes. However, his main claim to fortune is as an action hero, and he has dozens of those films to his credit and a slew of video games featuring his characters. What is Mark Sinclair's screen name? Okay, moving on, we have another match 'em up category. Movie jobs. The credits at the end of a movie have a long list of people who have worked on it. I'm going to give you 5 movie job titles and a brief description of 6 movie jobs. You match them up, none will be repeated, one will not be used. Here we go. Your movie jobs are gaffer, best boy, Foley artist, key grip, and cinematographer. Here are your descriptions. The head of the department that builds, sets up, and maintains cameras and their associated rails and riggings. The director of photography, who consults with the director on the look, color, lighting, and framing of shots. C, we have the head of the electrical department for the movie. D, responsible for everyday noises on the soundtrack, such as doors opening, waves swishing, and cars in the background, and so on. E, responsible for checking that the clothes, makeup, cars match as the movie moves between scenes. And finally, in charge of the care and placement of the lighting equipment. So match up the movie role with your description. There's no bonus point for this one. Okay, your last category in this round. Movie villains. I'm going to give you the actor who portrayed a villain in a movie. You just have to tell me what movie that was. I'll also give you the year of the movie. Here's your first. Bob Gunton in 1994. Your next one. Sala Baker. Next we have Hugo Weaving, 1999. We have Marion Cotillard in 2012. And finally, Ian McDiarmid, 1980. Okay, that's the end of round number 2. Let's do some answers for this entire movie round. So, AFI, your top 6 movies of all time. The lowest ranked of these is Gone with the Wind, because it sucks. 22, the movie that lost money at the box office, is Citizen Kane. Next, male co-star not worked in movies for 4 years. That's Joe Pesci. I can't remember what the female co-star's name is, but that movie's Raging Bull. The one that did not win any of the main Oscars, Singing in the Rain, and the last one, La La Land, contains multiple allusions to The Godfather, of course. No, not really. Casablanca. Stage name Diane Hall, that's Diane Keaton. Karen Elaine Johnson is Whoopi Goldberg. Kim Nicholas Coppola, that's Nick Cage. Eric Marlon Bishop, Jamie Foxx. And Mark Sinclair is in many action movies, including a lot of the Marvel ones and a lot of the Fast and Furious movies. That's Vin Diesel. Movie roles. So here we go. Gaffer is option C, the head of all the electrical. Best boy is option F. In charge of the care and placement of lighting equipment. Foley artist is option D, so responsible for everyday noises. The key grip is option A. It's responsible for setting up and maintaining cameras and the railings. And the cinematographer is option B, the director of photography and all that other stuff. Villains, Bob Gunton, that's Shawshank Redemption. He's Warden Norton. Sala Baker plays several villainous roles in Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Hugo Weaving, that's Agent Smith in The Matrix. Marion Cotillard is, can't remember what her character's name is. She's from The Dark Knight Rises. Something, Talia al Ghul or something. Ian McDiarmid, of course, is the Emperor in The Empire Strikes Back. If you put The Return of the Jedi, you're wrong. It's the wrong year. Okay, let's move on to round number 3. Your first category is called Canadian Firsts. So this is all about Canadian things that happened. First, here's your first one. In 1967, Canada became the first English-speaking country to decriminalize homosexuality in private between consenting adults. The Canadian Justice Minister achieved international fame, both good and bad, for his views. Who was he? Question 42. On an international scale, Canada was fairly late in building true skyscraper buildings. The first one, a big bank tower finished in 1969 in Toronto, was for which bank? Question 43. On April 7th, 1977, the Toronto Blue Jays played their first home opener. What happened that day to remind everyone that they were in Canada? Question 44. In 1964, Nathan Phillips Square was opened adjacent to the new City Hall. The designer of City Hall insisted that the square feature a sculpture by an internationally renowned artist. Who was this artist? And your last Canadian first. In 1976, the Summer Olympic Games were held in Montreal for the first time. What was the final tally of gold medals that Canada won in that games? Okay, your next category is called, there we go, Canadian premiers. So I'm going to give you the name of a premier of a province of Canada, and you just have to tell me what province it is. Easy peasy. Here's your first one, John Horgan. Then we have Francois Legault. Question 48, Jason Kenney. Question 49, Brian Pallister. And finally, Andrew Fury. Okay, your next category is called I am not a lawyer, but I play one on TV. I'm going to give you the name of an actor who plays a lawyer on TV, and you have to tell me what show the person plays the lawyer on. They're all pretty recent. Here's your first one, Michael Weatherly, 2016 to current. Next, we have Gabriel Macht, 2011 to 2019. Question 53, Juliana Margulies, 2009 to 2016. Next, 54, we have Simon Baker, 2001 to 2004. And finally, we have Michael McKean, 2015 to current. Okay, the last category is the 3-pointers. Each of these questions worth up to 3 points. Your first one, there are only 20 singles records that have sold over 15 million digital copies. All are from the 21st century. Only 6 artists appear more than once. Name 3 of the 6. Question 57. Name any 3 players who scored a touchdown in the most recent Super Bowl. Question 58. Name 3 Republican senators other than Mitt Romney who voted to impeach Donald Trump at his second impeachment hearing. Question 59. Name 3 edible members of the onion family other than those with onion in their name. And your last question of the night. Name 3 of the 10 most common knots used in boating or camping. Okay, let's end round 3. Let's take up some answers. So, the Canadian Justice Minister in 1967, that was Pierre Trudeau. 42, the first skyscraper in Canada in Toronto was for TD Bank. I think this might be it. I'm not sure. 43. At the Toronto Blue Jays' first ever game, it snowed. 44. The artist, the Nathan Phillips Square statue or whatever. I'm not even sure what it is. His name is Henry Moore. And your first in the first Olympic Games held in Canada, Canada won approximately 0 gold medals. Premiers: John Horgan is the Premier of BC. Francis Legault is Quebec. Jason Kenney, he's the Premier of Alberta. Brian Pallister is Manitoba. And Andrew Furey is the Premier of Newfoundland, recently elected. Lawyers: Michael Weatherly is on the show Bull. Never seen it. Gabriel Macht is from Suits. Juliana Margulies is from The Good Wife. Simon Baker from The Guardian. And Michael McKean is on Better Call Saul. 3-pointers. So here are the 6 artists that appear more than once: Ed Sheeran, Rihanna, Drake, Chainsmokers, Camila Cabello, and Adele. Whoops. Then the people who scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, the most recent one, there was actually only 3. Rob Gronkowski scored 2, and Antonio Brown and Leonard Fournette, all for Tampa Bay, because they romp-stomped Kansas City. So the 6 Republican senators who voted to impeach Donald Trump, other than Mitt Romney, are Richard Burr, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Ben Sasse, and Pat Toomey. Onion family edible members, other than those with onion in the name, you have garlic, leeks, shallots, scallions, and chives. Finally, there's a lot of these nuts, so I'm just going to throw them up there and pick out your answers if you have them. They're not even really in alphabetical order. Okay, that's the end of trivia for this week. Hope you had fun. Good night.